Starting to wrap up champ select here. Sivir, Rakan, Jax, Nautilus. That's actually a lot of engage on the side of Rabid Raccoons. Whereas you could say, okay, here's an engage tool for IRL, the Kled. I think Kled, Vlad. I think between Braum and Trundle, they're definitely going to be able to facilitate a Lucian pick. Maybe he switches to Ari instead. Orianna. Okay, so this is all. Well, Orianna's definitely a strong mid laner no matter what the instance. I think this comp out of IRL really speaks to we want Lucian to carry. So probably going to see either Bork or Essence Reaver first. And then you just want to see the Lucian snowball from there. And Essence Reaver is absolutely insane on Lucian right now. Final champion for Rabid Raccoons is the Irelia. So it's Irelia mid, Nautilus top. So Nautilus versus Kled, actually a pretty even matchup as long as Nautilus can extend the fight, get his E proccing multiple times. And it's not difficult for him to engage off of Anchor. Although if you ask me which team overall might be better, I'd probably go with the side of IRL. Just from the Trundle pick to definitely get the Lucian going to make Nautilus and Jax less tanky. But both these comps seem pretty decent for me.
Yeah, I think Rabid Raccoons are definitely a team fighting team. Their strengths lie within their coordination and their experience playing with one another.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see how they utilize those engage tools with the Sivir and Rakan, because while they do have a really good team fight, it almost seems like they're almost out team fought by the IRL Sluts 5 champions as well. So,
well, I
yeah.
think IRL slut or IRL. I don't want to keep saying that word on stream. It's kind of awkward. IRL definitely has I think what I mentioned is the stronger comp overall. But and the other thing on top of that is just you have a Braum and you have a Trundle. Uh, Braum can build a Knight's Vow, Trundle can build a Knight's Vow. Both of them can build a Convergence. Now you'll probably only see one given the comp, maybe two Knight's Vows tops. But putting that onto the Lucian, getting the Essence Reaver in there, it really means that, or at least to me, it appears as though they're putting a lot of a lot of eggs in the Lucian basket here. Therefore, theoretically, if Lucian does get caught out, say by the Jackson the Aurelia jumping onto him, what does the team fight look like for IRL at that point? Well, it all jumps forward onto Orianna, and if Orianna can't get a good command shockwave, then IRL kind of loses fights pretty consistently. Trundle's build isn't offensive. Braum, while he can peel, doesn't put damage out. And sorry, I was looking at Nautilus' abilities. Definitely Kled can do some damage, but if Kled's the engage tool, let's say, he wants to find the engage onto Sivir or Aurelia. Sivir because it can disrupt her, prevent her from getting into the fight. Aurelia because it can prevent her from jumping into the backline. So I guess win conditions are for Rabid Raccoons are shut down the Lucian, kill Orianna quickly after. and then smash the fight. As far as IRL is concerned, it's peel for Lucian, get good command shockwaves, and control the team fights that way. So both of these are pretty good team comps. As far as laning, Sled goes for overly aggressive trades, and I think like it's just an unfortunate part of Kled's kit that he doesn't really have like short bursts of trading. He always fights. So top lane at parity, jungle matchup of Trundle versus Jax. Trundle will probably go for Cinder Hulk build. Does not necessarily want to be too interactive against Jax. In terms of gank potential, Jax with Leap Strike, Counter Strike into Leap Strike, or just Counter Strike into Flash into Leap Strike, or any combination of the three, has a bit more consistent ganking pressure than the Trundle. If Trundle doesn't get a good pillar off, or if Trundle is just spotted out by warding. Just lacks that innate gap closer. Mid lane matchup, Orianna versus Aurelia. I don't play mid lane, I can't really speak to that. Then bottom lane, Lucian Braum, pretty classic combo versus Sivir Rakan. I think if you land the concussive blows for Braum, you can definitely run away with that lane, just because of Lucian's passive.
Yeah, for sure. And we're actually going to see Jax lining up here in the mid lane, try to get some early vision, prevent any bush strats.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard 5-point, right?
Yep. Aurelia's holding the top jungle.
Jax and Orianna just staring at each other menacingly.
Yep. And one Ong is actually the sub jungler for Rabid Raccoons.
Yeah, he actually played their tiebreaker out too. Long did. At least I think it's supposed to be Long instead of one
we
Ong.
can call him Long for this one.
Yeah.
I don't want to say one Ong over and over again.
Anyhow, you see red start for the Trundle. Jax going to his blue. Now, I guess my question here would be, do you see Trundle head for Scuttle Crab in this quadrant to the jungle immediately? Red buff giving that additional regen, the additional combat power. But no, it looks like he's just pathing towards his blue. Jax paths towards wolves.
Yeah, we saw a nice leash coming out there from the side of IRL. They got Trundle a bit of a lead in terms of clear speeds.
Yeah, that's actually, I would say, the Braum working way more in the favor. Getting the stun out is really important. Then on top of that, the bonus magic damage that he does on hit after the concussive blow.
And here we're gonna actually see a gank coming in here from Soto 1 onto the Nautilus.
Ooh, level 2 gank.
B-Snake is
gonna be forced to flash here. He dies. There's the flash. Kled's gonna lose his Scarl. Goes on foot.
A little bit of a late reaction there from B-Snake, but
I think B-Snake thought maybe he could walk it out, and then realized that he was definitely going to die if he didn't flash.
Yeah,
probably just didn't want to lose the summoner if he didn't have to.
Yeah, we actually see Trundle here clearing up this top lane Skull Crab. Jax took the bottom.
Yeah, Jax took the bottom.
Skull Crab. So they're each going to get one to start out.
Trundle goes towards Gronk. Jax looks like he's going towards his Raptors now. So, barring that level 1 gank,
and here we have another gank coming in.
Into mid lane, yeah. But pings go down. Jax backs off the gank. Looks like he's trying to invade the Trundle, maybe? Or no, he's just going on for a longer distance gank. Gets the stun out, double stun. I don't think that Hide on Blake had to flash there. He was at 50% HP, and I think a double stun commitment plus the ignite from Mad Life mid laner and Long would have been substantial. Also, now he doesn't have his flasher in a situation like this, and he's almost certainly... Oh, uses barrier. Now Soto 1 coming in here.
I definitely think he would have died
Soto
there.
Soto 1 or is it Sodal?
It's Soto 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like Koro 1 from EDG. I think Hot on Blake could have died there. The barrier definitely saved his life, but
Yeah.
now he's down 2 summoners to 1 summoner, and I think timer on barrier and ignite is comparable. So having a summoner lead pretty early in the mid lane is quite good. Bot lane of IRL looking to get pretty aggressive. Winter's Bite gets blocked by the Silver Spell Shield. Gives her that mana back. She says, "Thank you for the donation." But they keep going really aggressive here. Alf forced to pop his flash to get out, stay alive. Although, you see that Alf actually has TP here. Going for that heavy push, Sivir. Constantly farming just to shove waves in. I actually haven't seen this strat in a bit, but it should still work the same way. That actually has a rejuvenation bead. Keeps Skarl healthy and happy. It's a pretty quiet game so far, although you do see a 300 gold lead on the side of Rabid Raccoons. Let's see where most of that's from. 200, roughly 200's from top lane, and the other 100's in mid lane. Yeah, there you go. Oh, wait, now there's even more in bot lane. How about that?
We have a trade coming out here in top lane. Beast Snake gonna pop the Skarl passive.
Yeah, that's just Nautilus's damage really working in his favor, plus the corrupting pot. It's pretty hard for Kled to actually outtrade that damage. He should be pretty careful, although he's trying to stack up the courage, get Kled back as soon as possible. Nautilus hits 6 here. You might want to try to force an engage.
Yeah,
Skarl,
Fat Rat's still about 3 minions away from level 6, so Beast Snake had an opportunity there, but he decided not to take it. Didn't have enough vision of his river.
Yeah, didn't really have the anticipation of where Trundle would be. Also, maybe he was a bit scared of overcommitting with ultimate onto the Kled, and then Kled will just get his Skarl back and try to fight himself.
Yep.
Although I seriously think though that as the Nautilus in this situation, you can be willing to go for that trade. Like, you already see that Kled's getting pretty low here. It's about to get unmounted. There he goes. As the fire is pocket shotgun. Back off. Trundle looking for some bot lane action here. 3v2. But I don't think that it's going to get quite anywhere. The lane of Rabid Raccoons, Alpha and Ooplar have been pretty consistently pushed in. Yeah, this just isn't really working.
Yep.
Yeah, here's what Beast Snake was worried about. I think he gets out though. Yeah.
Jack's looking for a gank here in top lane, try to finish him off.
Yeah, but now that Jax is getting spotted out in top lane, Ooplar getting a little too close, has to pop his W to get out. Lucian pops flash heal, gets the pops the concussive blow stacks. Now Sivir's in a pretty awkward position. Spell shields the stun. You see Aurelia throw the ignite down onto Lucian. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Triple kill on the Lucian. That's 900 gold. That's... Oh no, that's not 900 gold. That's 1,000 gold because Lucian also got the first blood. So he's gonna come back to lane with a lot of stats.
Yep. Looks like he's actually itemizing here into
Bork.
Yep, the Blade of the Rune King.
I think that's pretty interesting. I feel like feel like Vamp Scepter into Essence Reaver would have been fine because you don't see a lot of apparent tankiness in the side of Rabid Raccoons. Even right now, the tankiest person is obviously the Nautilus. I think Essence Reaver would definitely be a better path for snowballing, especially after getting 3 kills like that.
Yeah, I know Essence Reaver on Lucians right now is really good, but at the same time, it seems to be it's a decent wager because it's good in lane, and it's also good as the champions get tankier. So it's a bit of a middle ground.
Ooh, really landing stun there, but I don't think she actually should have gone for that. Now just completely out of position. Looks like it's gonna die. Yep, Soda 1 chomps down on her. Takes her AD and her life.
Yeah, decent idea there from Mad Life mid laner. He wanted to be looking for an engage on Orianna out of position, and he got the ward over the wall.
He got the stun. Yeah. He just wasn't anticipating the Trundle would be there, and this gives IRL the freedom to just go for this Infernal Drake completely uncontested. Looks like Sivir's going for a Storm Razor. It's also another Infernal Drake spawning after this one, so maybe a short game if IRL keeps going here in terms of their power. Alpha again forced to flash out defensively. Has a slight CS lead. Although this time he doesn't have TP to come back to lane.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Rabid Raccoons to come back in this one. They're going to need to really find some isolated targets and get Irelia back into the game here.
Well, you see that Orianna's out of mana, so Irelia probably is just trying to shove it in. But they're getting a substantial amount of damage here on the outer turret of bot lane. I think this is just going to go down soon.
Yep.
Yeah, you see that Alf actually popped ultimate so that Uklar and he could get back, or she, but could get back to lane as fast as possible, save the tower, because there's actually no other tower damage on the side of Rabid Raccoon. They haven't pushed any of the lanes in hard enough that it would just be a free tower. Beast Snake taking a lot of damage here. He hurts the Scarl quite a bit.
Yeah, for the most part, it seems like Beast Snake has been having a pretty comfortable time here, even against a heavy threat in the Kled, but we'll see how the matchup keeps going.
I would say between the Tabai and Bombi Cinder, it's really hard for Kled to, whittle down a Nautilus, whereas Nautilus has that defensive bonus, has the damage over time with Bombi Cinder, not to mention consistent damage off of, I believe it's Riptide. Yes, off of Riptide, Titan's Wrath, giving you magic damage per second on your auto attacks and an AoE. It's pretty decent amount of damage. But you do see IRL grab first tower here. The gold lead ballooning to 2k in 12 minutes. Now they're just invading Long's jungle, taking the blue buff. Probably going to put it onto the Lucian. Yep, there it is. In return, Long and the rest of Rabid Raccoons looking to take the Rift Herald, at least get back an objective, try to force a tower down with it. But that just means that IRL can just keep pushing down here. You see Lucian popping the culling to clear a wave. Now he's taking off the tower. I think Rabid Raccoons are just getting severely out-rotated this game. Good slow. Mad Life mid laner forced the flash out. Now you see Jax pop the Rift Herald in top lane. Definitely. Almost certainly going to get the tower in top lane, but overall that's a 3-for-1 trade. Even with using the Rift Herald, you're only getting 1 tower out of that here. It's a bit of advantage on the bleeding, but bleeding is still even more now. It's a 3k gold lead on the side of IRL. Recon clearing out some vision at the moment. I think if you're Rabid Raccoons, you're trying to think about a way back into the game. And the Rift Herald was one step short. I think the next step is also trying to control dragons, trying to control vision.
Yo, thanks for the sub, Ropey Ropey.
Oh, Ropey sub. That's very nice of him. Lucian solo pushing a tower here. Braum coming in to defend him while Jax tries to keep the defense going. Inside of Rabid Raccoons. Aurelia doesn't seem to be doing any real damage to the Orianna, especially when while she has the ball on her. Jax walked a bit far forward there. Has to deep strike out. Both flashes burned on the side of Lucian and Jax.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, a bit of an ambitious flash there from Lucian, not knowing whether Jax had the flash up or not.
But even then, Jax is forced. It's flash for flash, and at the very least, Lucian has a resettable dash. I'm dropping bars like no other. Don't at me. Anyhow. Jax barely surviving with his life while Nautilus gives him a high five, tags him out. Says, hey, I got you, buddy. It's a pretty good read, I think, by the Nautilus, noticing that Lucian's out of mana here.
Yeah.
Khan looking to finish off for the engage. That's actually a great grand entrance into the quickness for the Rakan there. Although I think now he's left without a way to get out, but Orianna and Braum aren't going to turn onto him, otherwise they'd be committing for a really bad fight. So, flash burned by Hide on Blake. Lucian goes down. Braum loses flash. Although you still see it's Trundle and Kled that start off the Infernal Drake here. Jax moved way too far forward. I think gonna die here. Yeah, you see the flash chomp. TP comes in for the Sivir. Kills Trundle. Now looks to be killing the Kled. Orianna comes in for the reinforcements.
Really disjointed fight there, though, from IRL. They started the dragon without much backup, and they paid the price for it.
Yeah, but I don't think that either team is willing to commit for the dragon anymore. Both junglers being down. Lucian having full health, Orianna having command shockwave up. Braum does not have Glacial Fissure. So yeah, now you just see IRL be completely happy to just take the dragon away. Which is a double Infernal onto this composition. I think Kled, Orianna, Lucian very happy with having a double Infernal Drake. Third Drake is actually going to be a mountain now. So that's just a lot of pushing power, a lot of combat power from those Drakes put onto IRL, allowing them, or at least giving them the opportunity to increase snowball off of taking towers, to increase their everything from winning fights. And the only thing that's probably going to decrease is the game time. As long as they keep playing like this, at the very least. 4 towers to 2. On the side of the Rabid Raccoons, to give them credit, they have somewhat lowered the gold lead of IRL from 3k to 2k, but they're still pretty far behind as far as Lucian is concerned. It's already looking to build the Essence Reaver, has Bork completed on the side of Rabid Raccoons. You have the Storm Razor complete on the Sivir. It looks like she wants to get Famine Dancer and likely put that into IE, get that 100% crit, start shoving it down the lanes, controlling the waves, farming really hard, although she is at a farm deficit. Kill score is almost equal. But I do see the the likely problem coming through on the side of Rabid Raccoons is that their damage archetype is almost exclusively physical. yes, Jax has magic damage, and Aurelia has some magic damage too, but the magic damage they deal is not going to be equal to that of an Orianna. So as the game goes on, they're going to become more and more pressured, and their ability to win fights is getting more and more difficult, not just offensively in terms of the Infernal Drakes on the side of IRL, but just defensively, because every single person on IRL can itemize armor, with the exception of Lucian, who's decided to go Berserker Greaves. But you already see, Kled has Ninja Tabi, giving, I think, what, 35 armor and 10% damage reduction from auto attacks. Trundle, working on a convergence, already has Tabi. Orianna has Seeker's Arm Guard. Braum has Tabi and the Knight's Vow put onto the Lucian. It's a substantial amount of armor on every single, or looks to be a substantial amount of armor on every single member of IRL. And Rabid Raccoons are going to be very hard pressed to answer that more and more as the game goes on with their own damage. Jax has Cinderhulk. Nautilus, yes, he is a magic damage dealer, but he doesn't build the AP to continue dealing a substantial amount of it. So the magic damage is not going to come through. IRL starting up the Baron here, it's already down to 40%, although it's been spotted out by Rabid Raccoons. Looks like they're trying to pincer them there. That's a really nice dredge line from the Nautilus to engage. This is a great team fight for Rabid Raccoons. They smash it away. This is going to be a clean ace. Almost. Kled seems to be running away. And there, that's a clean ace. Or, no, it's not a clean ace. I'm sorry. Rakan went down. But this is going to be Baron for Rabid Raccoons.
Really beautiful contest there from Rabid Raccoons. Not having any hesitation just to get dirty, get in there, contest the objective that they really need to do.
I think it was really good. Like, it was just that fearless engage, the Nautilus dredge line, along with the Rakan grand entrance into the quickness, that entirely stopped up the fighting power of IRL. Yeah. Because when you have those engaged tools like Nautilus dredge line, Death Charge, Rakan grand entrance, quickness, those AoE consistent hard CC tools, you get that onto the Lucian, onto the Orianna, the fight ends almost instantaneously, as far as that's concerned. Yes, Rakan goes down, but it's so incredibly worth it for Rabid Raccoons to take the Baron, to swing the gold lead in their favor. Now they're 700 up in terms of gold, 800 now. And now they have the freedom to push. With the Sivir, they have that ability to push. So
they also have a nice TP advantage for Beast Snake if he does want to opt to go into a split push.
They could also send Sivir to split push if they really wanted to, but that would not be a great idea, sending an AD solo.
Yeah, they're going to actually have IRL in top lane here, and it's going to be very hard for IRL Sluts to deal with her if she does decide to get aggressive onto the Orianna.
Yeah, she does have Ignite up, so there is the kill pressure there. Sivir looking to force down lane with her Boomerang Blade, with her Bouncing Blade. Oh wait, that's...
And here we have an engage coming in from both Irelia and Fat Rat on the other
looks
side.
Looks like Irelia gets the kill off of the Ignite. Sivir staying very safe here, getting the auto attacks down. Rakan already cast the quickness, using the Z's convergence. Lucian stayed relatively untouched that fight. That's why you see the blinking health bars in the Nautilus and the Rakan. But on the other side of this, just off of the Baron buff, off the solo kill, Mad Life mid lane are able to get an inner tower and is now pressuring the inhibitor turret.
Yeah, that poor Orianna, she clearly couldn't deal with the dive coming in from Irelia, and
I think the Orianna did her best, put the ball onto herself, cast command shockwave, but Baron up Irelia with Triforce is just gonna kill you.
Yeah, and we're gonna see here at 23.5 minutes the Mountain Drake going over to Rabid Raccoons, so that'll ensure that another dragon appears as well.
Yep, and it's gonna be a double mountain, double infernal in this game. Maybe we'll see Raccoons get the double mountain. We'll see the double infernal having gone on to the side of IRL. Kled finds the engage onto the Jax. Beast Snake is down flash. He's gonna go down here. it's really this Kled that's just pressuring Rabid Raccoons so much that their Baron buff isn't meaning a whole lot. Also, finding the engage onto the Jax is pretty vital there, I would say. It removes the factor of an engage onto Lucian. So yeah, in the face of this Baron buff, IRL, pushing in. We don't care about your Baron buff, Raccoons. We are in control of this game. We have the pacing now. Oh, it was a rapid fire cannon Sivir was building. There you go. Lucian looks to be answering this massive wave in the bottom lane. Madlife mid laner searching around the jungle, trying maybe to clear vision, trying to find members of IRL. Well, Alf finally sees the opportunity to try to hit down the tower, but immediately you see the response from Daddy Nahor and Soto1. I think it was more of a reason to back off the threat of a potential Kled engage for the Sivir. But honestly, Rabid Raccoons, their ability to play this game is getting stopped up so much by the fact that this mid lane tower is still standing. They can't get a whole lot of vision down. And I think, frankly, that they're a bit pressured here.
I really was looking for a cheeky 1v1 here with the Kled.
Kled has a lot of health, though, now. Between Titanic Hydra and the Black Cleaver. I mean, both of them have Tabi, but Kled has way more health. Although Aurelia does have the Starix Gauge Triforce synergy going at the moment. Nautilus having gone for the Abyssal Mask, I think it's a pretty interesting buy considering, once again, there aren't a whole lot of magic damage sources on his team. So even with the 10% more magic damage in that AoE, is it going to suddenly make Aurelia and Jackson himself do more magic damage? I don't really think so.
Looks like we're going to see a face check here from Rabid Raccoons.
Scouts with Gleaming Quill. Jax gets out with the Leap Strike, Counter Strike. Says, sayonara, pal. Kled gets bursted back by the Blast Cone. It's like Trundle ulted. So that's Subjugate down for a while. And although Jax himself is pretty low.
A flash off of the Kled as well. We did see Kled show us slightly on the minions in top lane, and I think it's what gave away the death rush there.
I mean, it was a really good idea for the Rakan to check with Gleaming Quill. I think if he was a little more ambitious, he might have tried to engage with Grand Entrance.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's potentially a 3-4 man knockup with a single Grand Entrance.
I don't think you're going to do it into an unwarded brush, but it would have been nice if he had the prescience to predict their movement there.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, like, in that brush, with Nautilus having Death Charge up, with Grand Entrance and the Quickness, Sivir autos, Jax AoE stun, that's another team fight that can really get smashed away if you have that perfect engage.
Yeah, definitely.
Baron coming up in 20 seconds, second Mountain Drake coming up in 140. Lucian gets the cheeky back interrupt to stagger long here. Although I don't think that it's quite meaningful. If anything, if I were Lucian, I just try to coordinate with my team, secure more vision around the Baron. Because it's your, like, if they don't play the Baron really poorly, like they did last time, and I'm not saying that Rabid Raccoons didn't play it well, I think that IRL was just very, very ambitious in looking for the Baron, while all 5 members were up on the side of Rabid. Looks like it's a 2v3 right now. Lucian has forced to back off. Glacial Fissure. Shockwave only catches one, but Notorious GAD already gets one. Looks like Orianna's going to survive. Trundle's going to survive. Lucian finally goes down. Sivir dies to Lucian's burn? Not quite. Oh, red buff. Okay. So a 4-for-1 trade in the favor of IRL. I don't think that there's much that Nautilus can do to stop this. And it doesn't look like there's much he is going to do. He's just going to give up the Baron, I suppose. Probably the smart play.
Yeah. Not much he can do, so he's just focusing on clearing the minions. Nice concession for him.
Well, now the gold, once again, even more in the favor of IRL. 4k gold lead coming through. 1 tower lead. IRL backs off here, which gives Rabid Raccoons the opportunity to look at this second Mountain Drake. And I think with a double Triforce composition and a Sivir, double Mountain Drake is really, really scary. And I think they're going to take the Drake here. I don't think there's any way for it to be stolen. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Orianna was
no sneaky W from the Lucian. Yeah, still a 4k gold lead on the side of IRL. Now with this Baron buff, they're very, very, very enabled to push down the mid lane, have a wave in both top and bottom lane. It's good wave coordination on their part. The part of Rabid Raccoons, for builds, you see that Sivir now has 60% crit chance, now having that IE and the rapid fire cannon. So 60% crit versus 0% crit, but a lot of armor shroud. It's that age-old tale that's been around for 2 seasons. Will Lucian shred your armor more than Sivir can crit? Find out next time on Prophecy Cup. Anyhow, pretty bad moves from Rabid Raccoons. They're just letting IRL push down. Gonna take the inhibitor very quickly now too. Jack's just gonna walk it in. Kled has GA already. Lucian doesn't, but Kled with GA is pretty scary. Because I think when he resurrects with GA, he actually gets Skarl back immediately, right?
I'm not sure, actually.
Great question.
We'll see, I guess.
Or maybe we won't, considering how much health he has. Don't know what Kled feeds Skarl, but Skarl's a happy boy, or girl, be that as it may. Nautilus finds Dredgeline onto the Trundle, but it doesn't look like it's going down very quickly. Aurelia gets the engage off, but now is completely separated from the team. Definitely going to die here. Falls to the tower. Lucian tries to get the full mad mode engage, but it doesn't really work out. Sivir is still alive. That's the key player to look at for the team fight. Jax is completely separated. Kled looking to chase him down. Jax wants to get the blast cone. Gets a nice stun off. There's the blast cone coming through. Survives. That's really well played by Long. Now Alf and Uklar are just entirely unable to shove down the mid lane. Although with a super minion here, I don't think they can take the inhibitor tower or the inhibitor. In fact, it looks like Orianna's trying to pinch. Ooh, Uklar taking huge amount of damage. Alf unable to spell shield the Kled ultimate quite in time. Orianna doesn't go down, or Hide on Blake doesn't go down.
Yeah, big mistake there coming out from Uklar overstaying, and it brought Alf back to try to help, and they both got cut out for it.
Yeah. But once again, you can see that in spite of the compositions, and in spite of how the game's been going, or I guess not in spite of the competition, just in spite of how the game's been going, Rabid Raccoons are not slouched at all. They are fighting just as hard as IRL, and once again, you see the Lucian go down. It's pretty bad in fights, but now Orianna has her AP. Kled has GA, has armor. So unless the fights are played incredibly, incredibly well at this point, I actually just see the game being this continuously slow bleed in favor of IRL.
Well, to me, I think it comes down to the next Baron fight. IRL Sluts are a pretty bad sieging comp. They really have to look for dives if they want to make anything happen. So it'll come down big time to vision and see how patient Rabid Raccoons can be.
Also, Twitch chat. Chill out, guys. I actually think this game is pretty exciting. No reason to be toxic. Anyhow. I'm probably gonna get crucified by Twitch chat for saying that, by the way. Anyhow, I don't think Aurelia's play is like truly terrible. I think Aurelia is getting stopped up by the fact that the composition on the side of Rabid Raccoons is just so AD centric. Like, what are you going to do as Aurelia when you have a Knight's Vow onto a Lucian, have the Stand Behind Me onto the Lucian, Unbreakable stopping your Sivir's damage? Like, even if you find a decent ulti, and even if your ulti doesn't get blocked by the Unbreakable, there's so little you can do as Aurelia that I don't think it's a problem of Aurelia's play so much as it is a failure of Rabid Raccoon's comp. Because the damage archetype is just one. That Abyssal Mask on Nautilus is more of a placebo.
Yep.
Elder Drake spawning right now. See Lucian and Braum positioned pretty well for it. Uklar clearing out Submission, although I don't think that they have any real idea. Well, now they have an idea that IRL's going for it, but there's no way for them to stop it. 2 Drake Elder would have been equal either way. You can see that Fat Rat looking for the engage with the Kled ultimate, doesn't find anyone. Red in the mid lane inhibitor respawns. But IRL pushing down the bot lane with this Elder Drake buff, with that true damage burn. And remember, with the Elder Drake, it makes all of your elementals 50% more effective. So now, effectively, IRL have a triple Infernal. Oh, that was a really, really great Aurelia ultimate onto IRL. Sivir free hitting from the backside, but it takes them too long. Sivir needs to keep auto-attacking here, try to shut them down. That was a really great counter-strike from Jax. Sivir trying to run rampant in this fight. Kled still has his GA, is able to kill everyone else. This might be game. I think that is game.
GG
Yeah.
coming out here.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Okay. They don't have a wave though, so it might take
Oh, never
20
mind.
seconds
It's
here.
maybe not GG. I got too hypey.
It was a curious fight though. That Rabid Raccoons wanted to hang on to that inhib turret, but they're facing a opposition with Elder Drake, which likely they'll never win.
I mean, like, take the Elder Drake off, maybe they do win this fight. Maybe they pop the Kled GA. Like, I'm not sure if they actually win the fight. Al finally buying that Last Whisper, hoping to get some damage down, shred through the tank line.
Yeah, the upside is they did get 3 Elder Drake buffs off of IRL Sluts in time for this Baron fight, which they're gonna need to win here. If IRL Sluts gets this last Baron, I think they just siege down top lane and Raccoons just lose to the Baron minions.
Yeah. I mean, Baron's live right now. Looks like Rabid Raccoons trying to clear out what they can. They have a ward in the Baron pit on the very, very edge.
Yeah, Sivir is in no position to help, and so
Yeah,
like
she's
they're
already
actually-
shown. I think that IRL should just go for it since Sivir is the carry on the side of Rabid Raccoons.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
okay, Sivir has TP. That's
Oh,
what I'm
she
going to
does.
say.
That's right. Well,
But
it's too late
and
though.
yeah, and she's using it, but it's way too late for this. Another TP coming in from Nautilus. Wait, this was a terrible idea. Why did Jax jump in? And the TP gets canceled.
Not a horrible idea. If he gets the steal there, they might be able to hang on for a few
Yeah,
minutes.
but like with the cancel TP, I think that either you have 2 cancel TPs, or no, I think Sivir completed hers.
You
I think
lose
this is
the
just
game if you don't get the Baron there. There's nothing that should...
I would rather take a 5v5 fight with an enemy team with a Baron buff rather than a 5v4, though. Although, you are right. If Jax had taken the Baron buff there, that would have been incredibly clutch. Although it is his game, I think. Rakan and Aurelia looking for that last stall. Sivir completely healthy here, but I don't think it makes a difference. Yeah, that's good. Like, as far as it goes, I think a pretty decent game out of Rabid Raccoons. They definitely showed that they weren't willing to back down, despite being down pretty substantially. I think like 2k gold at like 12 minutes.
Yeah, it was a nice effort from them. They fought well from behind to get themselves that first Baron buff and give themselves a chance.
Ultimately, the issue was that the Kled became way too much of a threat. That's just like Titanic Hydra, Black Cleaver, and with the damage archetype on the side of Rabid Raccoons being almost principally, well, not even almost principally, just principally AD. Like, you look at Kled's itemization, like between the health from Thornmail, from Black Cleaver, from Titanic Hydra, from Randuin's Zone, there's also just an incredible amount of armor on here that entirely shuts down anything that Alf could do, even with true damage, even with Last Whisper. You see that Alf actually had 100% crit and Last Whisper by the time the game ended, but it makes no difference into that Kled.
Yeah, and see the damage charts here. Kled doing a nice 22,000 damage about. Lucian as well, topping out the chart with 25,000, and Orianna doing almost as much with a few key shockwaves there. Definitely played a big part in those late game team fights for IRL Sluts.
Mm-hmm. As far as Rabid Raccoons goes, like, yeah, you see that Sivir damage. It's pretty much just the tail of the comps, I suppose. Cinderhulk Jax, not the biggest damage dealer, although he can scale pretty well. Sivir, I think, tried her best, but ultimately when you have such a huge tank line that's able to peel for the carries, one of the carries being a tank himself, or really like a bruiser that has become a tank, Sivir can't do a lot. There's only so much that Sivir can do. I think that the Aurelia mid pick was an overall mistake on the side of Rabid Raccoons. Now, if Aurelia had been able to smash lane, maybe that's a different story. But ultimately, I just don't think that the Aurelia was played very efficiently.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much wrong with the strategy going in. I just thought that it was the execution that waned a little bit as the game went on. We saw how much damage she can do in a side lane, especially against Orianna. So it was a nice thought, but you would like to see Aurelia get a bigger lead in the early game for sure.
We'll switch Aurelia out with let's see. Yeah, so Mad Life mid laner, his most played champion this year, is actually Azir. So, like, just as an example, take his 3 most played AP mid laners: Azir, Ryze, Swain. I think all of those picks, as far as team fights could have gone, would have been way more efficient on the side of Rabid Raccoons. Just to have Azir and Ryze, who in different ways are kind of machine gun mages, dealing consistent amount of magic damage. It forces IRL to itemize differently. You can't have as much AD, Sivir becomes more of a threat or you can't have as much armor, Sivir becomes more of a threat that way. Rise and Azir, still dangerous. You have a Swain who could theoretically build just really defensively anyway, and still deal a lot of damage, be more than happy to get to fight. And you have those engage tools off Sicker, off Recon, off Nautilus. I really disagree with the Aurelia pick, and like you said, I think the execution ultimately didn't move forward very well there.
Yeah, so we'll see what side each team elects to take here. I think IRL Sluts gets the pick. And it seems like they're going to stay on blue side.
That means that Rabid actually had selection, right? For the first game?
I believe so. I can look it up here.
Pretty interesting that they chose,
Yeah.
if that's the case, they chose to go for red side.
Yeah, they chose red side for game 1.
But I think the first pick Recon was fine. They went Recon. Was it Recon Nautilus? Okay, so yep. Thank you for saying that we are ready.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see a Trundle ban. I don't think you want to deal with that again in team fight situations. It did a lot of damage just from a utility standpoint, and right now it's like one of the best picks into tanky top laners.
Yeah, it's really just that Zeke's convergence plus having PTA available to help your laners, I think. Xin Zhao ban coming through. I think we're just going to see another standard Xin Zhao Graves first 2 bans, I guess. Yep.
And if you're just joining us, guys, we're about to get into game 2 of this series. IRL Sluts took the first game.
Tom Kench getting banned out again. Kaisa going down.
And if we think back to the comps from last game, it makes sense now why IRL Sluts wants the Kench banned. They had a Kled that naturally gets shut down by Kench.
That's true. Because Tom can just eat whoever Kled tries to engage on for free. Yeah.
And if Soto wants to focus on bot lane,
same 3 bans as last time. Trundle's still up, yeah. I don't think the Morgana should have been banned here. I think you should have just dropped the Morgana ban Trundle instead.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a Trundle ban for sure, but Soto's gonna get one of his comfortable picks again, and we'll see what happens.
Rabid going for a Thresh. Interesting.
Yeah, one of Uklar's comfort picks, I think. He's got a lot of
it's his most played.
We'll see what he can do, because Thresh is the type of champion that's very niche, but it provides a lot of utility when utilized to its fullest extent.
Yeah. So what does Long go for here? Zach, I think that's actually one of his most played as well.
Yeah, I like the Zac pick here. His passive allows him to tank up a possible Trundle ult and still survive after going down.
That's true. Although the bloblets actually, when the bloblets spawn, they each have equal portions of Zach's armor and MR. So those blobs become even squishier. But yeah, like Lucian Trundle combo coming out from IRL again. Hide on Blake. Free to pick Orianna again if he wants to, and see if he switches it up. Had some pretty decent shockwaves last fight. They don't want to show their mid lane pick Braum again. So, same 3 picks on the side of IRL. I think that's kind of a failure. You want to, I really think you at least want to take the Trundle off the board. Like, Lucian's strong in this patch off of Essence Reader, off of Building, but Trundle can definitely just enable him harder. Braum can facilitate him even more. Nautilus pick coming through to show for top lane on the side of Rabid Raccoons. So now they have to ban another Fiora ban. I don't think that you should be banning the Fiora. I know it's Fat Rat's most played. I understand that. But does a Fiora really fit in with the comp? Not necessarily. Like,
I think Fiora is a fine ban if all you can play is tanks, and I think that Beast Snake is a very much so tank-oriented player, so it makes a lot of
plays
sense.
Gangplank a lot.
Oh, he does? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
It's not
Like,
such a,
I agree with you for the most part. He does play Gangplank, Darius.
it's not such a bad matchup for Fiora still.
That's true. But I think putting him onto the Nautilus just also isn't necessarily the best decision. Well, there's the adjustment to Kled. And I guess I can understand that. Because Kled did kind of become that tool that really stopped Rabid Raccoons from getting back into the game, because Kled with the GA and the tank itemization.
Yep.
Now, this being said, I would really, really appreciate it if Rabid Raccoons picked some magic damage right here. I'm not saying Zach has low magic damage. I know he deals all magic damage. But there needs to be some magic damage, like preferably from mid lane, for Rabid Raccoons. Well, there's the Sivir pick again. And I can understand that. Definitely did well. Alf had some good defensive flashes, kept himself alive, snowballed pretty well for himself, became a huge damage threat. Mid lane and top lane picks still available. It's a Maokai this time, so not necessarily going to be that Kled that's running rampant, but definitely a tank that's no slouch in his own right. And will it be the Ahri or the Ori? Ori. Ahri or Ori. Okay, sorry. Getting carried away. And it is Orianna. So, one different pick. Galio. Well, Galio can definitely lane against Orianna and have some degree of effectiveness versus Zeke's Convergence. Karthus, interesting pick. Oh, there's the Azir. Well, like I said, that left mid laner does play a lot of Azir. It's his most played.
Yeah, he was toying with us there a little bit, I think, with the Karthus, but I would have liked to see a Karthus. That would be pretty interesting.
I think he does play Karthus. Or maybe not. Let me double check here. Okay, I'm mistaken. I don't see very
No
many
Karthus?
no
Damn.
Karthus.
Feels bad.
Just a tease.
Yeah, we'll see if we see anything different from game one. I'd definitely like to see some more team fighting for sure.
Top lane's going to be even more of a wet noodle fight now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I do appreciate the Zach have a really reliable long range tool, and like you said, that increased survivability even if he does get ulted by the Trundle there. Azir is the adjustment that I wanted to see, getting some consistent magic damage down. You can't, that way Maokai, Trundle, Braum can't just itemize, like, hey, let's build full armor. I'm going to build Locket. I'm going to build Zeke Convergence. I'm going to build Thornmail and Randuin's. So that option, just by putting the Azir in there, effectively neuters the builds from last game.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when you consider the fact that if Beast Snake on Nautilus here does get the Abyssal Mask again and is willing to go in, that's amplification of damage for Zach and Azir, who just once again, machine gun mage in his own right. So I do like the draft better from the side of Rabid Raccoons. I think as far as IRL is concerned, they're more like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So understandable decision making from them to go for effectively the same comp, although Maokai does not play in the same map that a Kled does.
Yeah, that's true. If anything, I think it gives IRL.
It's more utility, more CC, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it gives them a potentially better team fight with the double tank and the Trundle stealing additional stats from Nautilus or Zac, and yeah, another ball carrier as well for the Orianna, which will be interesting to see.
I mean, I think Kled was the best ball carrier last time. Maokai is going to be the best ball carrier this time. Trundle, Braum, Lucian, not necessarily the best people to throw the ball on for an engage. So Sivir Thresh versus Braum Lucian. I think that's still going to be a pretty muted lane. I can't see a whole lot of aggression happening.
Which lane?
The bottom lane.
Bot lane. Yeah. Yeah, Sivir has a
If
nice...
you were...
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, if you were Zac, though, and you were playing against these lanes, which lane would you want to, like, gank the most? Which lane would be the one where you're like, okay, I gotta tilt these guys, gotta camp?
I think it's a very low success rate in bot lane. And you don't really need to get your Nautilus ahead, so I think Zac's obvious lane to gank is mid lane.
Mm-hmm.
So Soto will have to keep tabs on Zac, see if he can check him.
Orianna actually went heal, Azir went barrier. Understandable from both. Probably going to be a relatively non-interactive lane until 6. Although, you can see Azir play rather aggressively pretty early.
Yeah, I think the barrier's okay. I don't know. I would have gone... I would have thought about Ignite for sure, but I think barrier's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a consistent choice, and it doesn't really lose its effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's burst, but barrier is just really an anti-burst tool most of the time.
It is a little bit curious why he didn't go heal in that case, though, because I don't think you can ever expect Orianna to go Ignite, so not sure what he was thinking with that.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
But more shields for Azir never hurts, I guess.
That's true. So you see IRL stacking up here as though it's an anti-invade.
Yeah.
While Rabid Raccoons just goes for the 5-point.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll recognize that they're not 5-pointing and try to get some deep vision in topside. But it doesn't look like the Azir wants to move. And they're just
I would say maybe IRL stacked like that because they were afraid of a Thresh, starting hook. But even then, I would not call for an invade onto a
Braum, yeah.
Onto a Braum, Maokai, Trundle.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Trundle. Trundle is actually an incredibly good anti-invade just off of the fact that he can press Q and reduce the AD, which is already pretty low level.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You see that Trundle gets a superior leash. Zac, not quite a fast clear.
Trundle's actually looking for a little invade here on the Zek.
Well, I definitely think that he has the ability to do so.
Yeah, for sure.
Zach walking towards his red now. I think Trundle's going to finish off the red. Yeah, more than enough time.
Oh. Got some pings going down. Trundle wants
He's going down onto the Zach. Trundle going the long route.
He's going to take the Blaskin over.
Flash out.
Really nice play there from Soto.
Yeah.
And that's going to shut down Zach pretty hard for any mid lane ganks, too.
Yeah, not having that flash early is definitely really rough for Zach. Now Soto is going to be pressuring for this Scuttle, too. Azir looks to posture defensively. Now Brahm's pinging onto Zach.
Oh,
Zach is
coming in
really
for a
caught
flank
out here. I think he's just going to give Bloodlight. Thresh walking over, maybe they give over the shield, but he's only level 2. He doesn't have it. Yeah. Oh, bit of a coordination there. Having first blood go onto Braum.
I think Braum just wanted to take it.
Well, I mean, I guess he's now free to throw out as many Winter's Bites.
You got the blue of you.
Yeah, that's just Trundle shutting down the Zac in the straight early game.
Yeah.
Off of his ability to fight and Zac's lack of ability to do so. I mean, I think as far as it's concerned, Zac can tank jungler well, but he can't fight a fighting jungler.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So off of that, 400 gold lead on the Braum versus the Thresh. About a 100 gold lead. Lucian over Sivir. Roughly the same for Ori over Azir. And 200 in the favor of Trundle over Zac. The only CS lead that you see here is actually Beast. Having a solid 200 gold lead. Just off of CS against the Maokai. Pretty good. And you actually see the adjustment come in here. Beast Snake this time. We went for the Doran Shield over the Corrupting Potion that he had.
That's right, yep.
But overall, about a 1k gold lead, 5 minutes in on this side of IRL. Who I'm sure are more than happy to have that themselves.
Thresh going for a little bit of vision here in the bot side jungle. It's gonna spot any potential Trundle ganks, but
Trundle's invading, taking Raptor camping.
yeah.
Zac, he's definitely not going to see it. You look at the CS differential between Zac and Trundle almost has double Zac CS at this point.
Soto is pretty low on health here, so he's gonna have to back off.
That's true, but as long as he's able to back safely, he just comes out with it. He's not able to take the full Raptor camp, which is pretty good as far as long as.
I'm gonna see a recall coming out from the mid laners here. Both lanes are reset. And
Yeah,
Zac's
CS
gonna...
the Beast Snake had going seems to have evaporated.
Yeah, Maokai was able to get an extra wave after Nautilus backed, so it evened out a little bit.
But you see the Zac coming in for the gank here. Gets the stretching strikes down. Nautilus already has. No, Nautilus is not 6 yet. Maokai already has ultimate because he stayed. He was able to get the experience, but now he's out of mana. Duklar and Alf playing very defensively once again, but as long as Sivir is able to farm up really well, it should be fine. You see the adjustment from Alf though. No longer having the TP, instead has to heal the defensive summoner. So less incentivized to be allowed to back.
Yeah, that's true. Nice control ward placed on the right side of river for Orianna, and Azir's gonna match that actually in a similar spot.
Yeah, the jungle entrance. Triangle takes the blast cone into the Drake pit. Is this an early Drake from IRL? I think it's a pretty dangerous one. I think it is, but I'm not sure if Raccoons would actually react. Well, now they definitely know.
Yeah.
I think, okay, maybe they're just letting it go. In this case, it's a mountain.
Yeah, nice call there from the Sluts. They're not going to get punished for it. Zach is a little bit tentative to contest there, not having passive.
It's Mountain Drake. Next Drake will be another mountain. Mountains on mountains on mountains. Welcome to the Himalaya. Anyway. Thresh taking some damage. Alf also getting pretty low, roughly 45. Uses the potion. I think it might have been just like, ooh, that's a really nice Shurima shuffle flash out on the side of Hide on Blake. Doesn't really do anything more though. I think that's the situation where the Ignite would.
For sure, yeah. It was nice though just to get the summoner out. Definitely worthwhile to trade your ultimate for the massive cooldown of Flash.
Yeah. And you don't burn any summoners in return either.
Exactly. It looks like Notorious Gad has opted to recall with about 2,000 gold, so he'll pick up a nice Bilgewater Cutlass. And it also relieves some pressure on the Sivir.
On the side of Alf, he has roughly the same amount of cats. Ooh. Well, I can see that coming to mind. Not really much Long could do about that.
No.
Just Zach slingshot, very telegraphed.
Yeah, nice job there from Soto to wait that out and put the pillar down when he needed to.
Now this is going to be a really huge lead in the favor of Soto over Long. Soto now has almost double the CS that Long has.
Yeah.
And if you look at the experience, Soto is 6, Long is 6, but Gold tells a different tale.
I see a Thresh Flash and the Sivir heal being expended in bot lane for a nice duel coming off of the IRL Sluts spot. A lot of pressure that they're under now.
Top lane continues to be that wet note fight where everyone slaps each other around. Says, me. I'm a magic damage tank. No, I'm a magic damage tank. By the way, I am Riot Games. I am a amateur voice actor.
Yeah, thanks for the follow, Chardonnay.
Azir clearing out the vision, finally able to control zombie himself, so he takes it with it. Hori though, roughly 300 CS lead, Lucian 300 CS lead, Braum 300 CS lead.
Yeah,
like, gold differential is roughly 2k, again, very early on, in the favor of IRL. Now, if this is any indication of, if this is any close to a repeat of what happened last, that's pretty interesting. I don't really know what else to say about that from Long. That's a really interesting gank.
Long didn't quite see Trundle there until the very last minute when he started stretching for his last experience.
This Braum is carrying so hard. Look at that. Double kill. It's over.
Yeah, he's fed.
Lucian's actually the support. Mad Life mid laner looking to get something back here, but I don't really find it. Hide on Blake also stopping the Thresh back. They're just gonna kill him here. Goodbye.
And
Looks like
something-
IRL is just hard punishing. Rabid Raccoons for giving them almost the exact same comp, and like you said, probably a few shades better with the Maokai. They didn't even need the Maokai. Or did they? No, I don't think they called Maokai down.
No. He had already expended his teleport for lane, and although Beast Snake had his teleport and got down there in time, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, 2 towers in the favor of IRL. Beast Snake not able to do anything. I also don't think it was like the greatest TP against the brush there. This is Zac pick just getting completely punished.
Yeah, it's been a really nice job from Soto to shut him down and
Ooh,
gotten that 5k gold
Mad
lead.
Life mid laner taking damage down to around 55% health. Just off of the movement command and command shockwave? Or no, dissonance.
Mm-hmm. And now with control over the map, IRL
They're
Sluts
just,
are free to take this Rift Herald.
Rift Herald, yeah. I mean, they also have the Mountain Drake, so it goes down just ever so fast.
That's right.
Also looks like, you know, IRL telling Rabid Raccoons, hey, you guys might have experience together as a team, but you are not a veteran of the Prophecy Cup.
Yeah, this is their first game of their tenure here, so they're getting some nice experiences. Hook lands onto Daddy Nahor. Zac's gonna jump in, he's gonna tank up a bunch of damage, bring back Daddy Nahor.
Gets the
Shockwave.
shutdown gold. Pretty vital. Azir forced the flash out. Now it's Beast Snake that goes down instead. Uklar and Alp have to flash. So many defensive flashes on the side of Rabid Raccoons.
Yeah, nice hook there from Uklar to start things off, but they're only able to get the Braum there.
Ultimately, being 6k gold down, going 1-for-1 in a team fight, not terrible.
Yeah, not bad at all. And
mean-
here we're gonna see another ARAM for mid lane.
Raccoons usually nocturnal end, but you see these raccoons are rapid. They're willing to fight any day, even if they're down.
That's right. Rabid.
Soto popping the Rift Herald, definitely just take down the tower here. This is a slight mistake. That's a slight mistake I see from a lot of teams. They continue hitting the tower even though there's no chance of them taking it. They just, like, in my opinion, either you should start pressuring forward, because the Rift Herald is just going to burst the tower down from roughly 50% anyway, rather than burning the time continuing to auto the tower, because there's no way that Rift Herald's position.
Yeah. But alas, they did get the inner tower.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty decent usage coming out of the Rift Herald there.
Yeah, almost a 7k gold lead here at 16 minutes. If it wasn't for that Braum death, who will not be reported feeding, almost a perfect game too. So, IRL just definitely playing this how they want to, looking to crush game 2. Say, hey, it's getting late. We want to go to bed, so we're gonna put these raccoons.
Yep.
They might be IRL sluts, but their day job is actually at a vet clinic, which is why they're dealing with these raccoons. Gonna have to put them to sleep. Okay, I'm forcing this joke.
Yeah.
Okay. Beast Snake clearing out some vision, courtesy of the control ward. I think raccoons need to find a lane to push a tower down and just to open up the map a little bit more. Because as it is right now, they are just bleeding everywhere. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to knock down any towers just because of how far behind they are.
Mm-hmm.
And Sivir's a type of champion that really doesn't siege well either. She likes to farm up until the very late game. So they're kind of stuck without a POW here.
Yeah, all the lanes are down, your jungler's down. You really need to find a miracle team fight or catch the enemies with their pants down.
Here's a good chance.
That's a good depth charge into Hook. Lucian. Really good initiate with the Zac as well, but it doesn't look like they're going to get much out of this. Sivir forced to back off. Azir still isn't there. So, despite the fact that it was a really great engage on the side of Uklar and on the side of Long, I don't think that it helps very much.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Now, if Uklar had been playing Rakan again, because I think he did quite well in Rakan in game 1. I don't really think there was a need to switch over from Rakan to Thresh, other than perhaps just the additional escape tool with Lantern.
Yeah. I definitely would have liked to see the Rakan again, just because of how many knockups they can overlap or chain.
Mm-hmm.
But Lucian is just so slippery, and when he's got flash up, it's hard to get him.
Yeah, I mean, even with Lucian dashing behind his teammates so that Death Charge knocks them up too, it didn't really make a whole lot of difference. Like, it really was a good engage, but didn't do anything.
Yep. Oh, another engage coming out here from Long. Smacks them together, but
Yeah, but Long may have these decent engages, but he's doing it almost solo. He goes
big
down so
shockwave there.
well. That's a really great command. Shockwave is here trying to hit the backside. Forced to run away right now. Long flashes out, gets the hit with the star power from Darkstar Oriana's auto attack. Takes him down. Zir popping the passive tower, but not staying around very much. Tower's gonna melt like butter. With Baron spawning in a few seconds, do you think this is where IRL makes the same call as last time? Says, hey, I know we messed up before.
I hope
I mean,
not.
you see the ping go down.
Yeah, they want it. Trundle's coming.
And they do have double mountain this time.
Oh, we're gonna dive.
Beast Snake looks like he's gonna get caught up here. That's a really long range engage from Long, but he didn't get anyone. Grabs the Maokai with the ultimate. Maokai looks like he's going down there, courtesy of Alf.
Oh, Long coming
Ooh,
in.
finds
Blocks
it
up
onto the Lucian. Smacks the Lucian and Oriana together, but where's the Sivir? Sivir forced off by the Trundle. Has to run away right now. Lucian and Oriana kill all the other members of Rabid Raccoons because Sivir was separated from them by the Trundle. I think Hide on Blake goes down to tower. Report Braum, report Trundle, not handling tower aggro from it.
Yeah, there are multiple ways to screw up a lead, and IRL almost found another one of them, but strange dive, 4v5. But it worked out in the end for them. They got Mad Life mid laner fairly early in the fight, and Sivir was zoned out, like you said, from the Trundle running at her.
I mean, Long has definitely been looking for these engages. Despite the fact that he was down. I think it's a pretty good sign, man. Like, at least decent mentality to continue looking for the fights. It's just that maybe some of these engages just aren't great because he just doesn't have his team quite there yet.
Oh, that was definitely a IRL Sluts dive, for sure.
No, I was just saying, like, the previous times.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
This is a...
Slain the dragon.
There's no way they're going to go for this, right?
They're certainly thinking about it. Here they go.
Oh my.
Beast Snake can't get over. He's gonna have to show on this
He's
control.
just walking around.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. That's a good hook though. They're gonna kill Blake. And they're gonna kill
Wow.
Nahor.
And they're still
Oh,
gonna
but-
keep it up.
Long had to smite already for health, I think. But yeah, I think they're just gonna take it.
Wow.
Fat Rat's pushing. Nautilus? Like, Beast Snake, I think you should just be TPing into top lane if anything.
Oh
Oh, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's not great. Oh, or is it?
Oh.
Or is it?
no! It's not horrible.
Oh no!
Sivir's still alive.
Sivir's still alive. Long
Long's
takes him
slipping
away
away.
from Sivir. A bit of a mistake.
Oh no!
There's the depth charge into the additional engage. Oh my goodness. Even
Very-
with triple mountain,
they
they
traded
let the
Mountain.
Baron go.
They traded third
I
Mountain
think
for
I think it
Baron.
was just a bad idea, honestly. I think that the call went on to Lucian saying, "Hey, Maokai, like we know Maokai ain't that great at taking towers, but we have triple mountain. He can take the tower. We just need to stop the backs, Lucian." And Lucian and Trundle were like, "Okay, Commander, we got this. We'll stop the backs." And A, some of the backs went through. B, they both died.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, the decision to start the Baron from Raccoons there was so unexpected that IRL just didn't think that they could do it. I guess.
No, I didn't think they could do it either. That's just a really proactive and ambitious call.
Yeah. Especially
And
when
they
you.
did it. They did it relatively unseen. I think the only thing that was slightly misplayed in terms of vision is that
Nautilus couldn't get over.
Nautilus had to end up having to walk around because Sivir had to take the lantern in.
Exactly. But
In
definitely.
that case, I might have just asked, "Hey, Nautilus, can you go back bot lane? Can you bait and just make it seem as though we're in the jungle, or we're trying to like set up?"
Yeah.
But is it going to be the same tale of last time, where Rabid Raccoons get this Baron buff, but they're not really able to make great use of it? Here's a Maokai ultimate coming down. Twisted Advance, really great Graceful Fisher. But Long, with this elastic slingshot, comes in, grabs two with the ultimate. Azir gets their Sarima Shuffle off, but now Sivir Alpha is dead.
Wow. Quadra kill coming
Quadra
out from
kill.
Orianna. Oh, Blue Buff's gonna
Blue
finish
buff
off
with the
Zach.
assist. Get her the Penta!
Oh, the
Pentakill!
Blake.
Do you think that's game with a triple mountain? Like, they don't have a wave quite yet, sure. But they're gonna have two waves. They're definitely gonna get at least two inhibitors, right?
Yeah,
It's not game. There's no
Pretty
way it's game,
much.
but
they did take off 5 Baron buffs too, so it's a huge victory for IRL there.
yeah, now they're up 10k, 25 minutes. I think. Okay, I think it would be really, really top. But man, that instant quadra kill practically.
Yeah. Yeah. Braum had a nice flash engage there. He only managed to knock up Nautilus, but
But the overall disruption from Glacial Fissure, also just getting the flash in there and being in the middle of them, allows Orianna to command protect them into the shockwave. Very well played by RL. Trundle chomping down on some crab, having himself a feast. So, kind of jinxed it again, but once again... Oh no! Not again! Now Kyle. Now Long isn't even able to get a really good slingshot off.
Oh
Never
my
forced to run
God.
away. Beast Snake goes down. Long pulls Brahmin? Not really sure if that's quite worth it. Oh dear. Oh,
Yeah.
goodbye.
yeah, Zach, that's
That was-
behind. Slingshotting
That was
in.
almost a repeat of the exact same team fight we just had. You see the Maokai ultimates that like come in from the back, long
Yeah.
range.
The big difference being that it was a bit more clean on the engage. Oh yeah, have 8 seconds still on Zac, so this is still 4v5. Hook coming down onto
But that's the
Maokai.
Maokai, but I don't really think that's anything you want. Brawn Glacial Fissure doesn't hit anyone.
Bit of a zoning ult there.
Yeah. Sivir Boomerang Blade. The zoning Boomerang
man.
Blade.
Oh!
Oh no, that's
Killer
it's
sets
two
up the
instant flashes out of the
shockwave
Azir now.
Long still wants the fight.
He's finding multi-man knockups, so he's finding the multi-man knockups and tanks. Those are not the targets that you want to hit. Beast Snake going down now. I believe it's this game.
Sivir still
that triple Mountain Jake is
just 2.5 items, so it's not enough damage. GG.
That's game, that's series. Ooh, they pulled Maokai into the tower. One last revenge kill.
Yeah.
Relatively quick 2-0 on the side of IRL. Very well played on their part, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. It was pretty clean, except for the first 2 Barons on both games. They closed it out pretty well. And here's a bit of a glimpse of the damage charts. We see Orianna did have the bulk of the damage for IRL with 28,000 damage that time.
So, takeaways from this, I think. IRL, you played your games pretty cleanly overall. Watch those first Barons. As for Rabid Raccoons, great sense on Barons. Problems maybe playing out your comps. Honestly, I think playing for late game, which is kind of what they wanted to do with the Azir and the Sivir, not necessarily the best idea, especially when you give up the Trundle again, who's just going to out-pressure your tank jungler early on.
Yeah, I think it sort of fell apart this game, just from the jungle standpoint. Long wasn't quite as respectful as he probably should have been versus the Trundle, and Soto's experience on that champion definitely shone through there.
Yeah, I mean, towards the mid and like the later portions of the game, Long would find decent engages. It's just that he's ultimately too far behind for those decent engages a whole lot.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that's going to be it from us. There is still a match going on Prophecy Cup 2, so we're going to host them right now. And
you don't want to pull anyone in for an interview?
It's up to you. Do you want to do the interview?
Yeah, I mean, if we could pull Soto, I think.
Yeah, for sure. 1 second.
Wait, hello? Testing? 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
What's going on?
Well, congratulations on your 2-0 series over the Rabid Raccoons.
Thank you.
Few questions, just as far as interviews go, off the top of my head. First one is, in both games, you guys lose out of the first Baron.
Yes.
I kind of want to know, like, what was going on, at least both in comms and I guess in your head personally, in game 1 when the Baron goes down, and game 2 when the Baron goes down.
The first one was like forehead. I don't know what happened. I tried to peel the Relia, but she popped off. I don't know what. Then they all came, and then I tried to peel, but I'm not sure. Yeah, everyone got ran over in that fight. Not sure why. I gotta rewatch that. The second game, first Baron. What happened again? They got it right.
They pretty much just snuck into the pit.
Yeah. We just they snuck in and we didn't ward it, and then we got picked off one by one. But other than that, we recovered. Other than that, like little 5-minute segment, we were playing perfect, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that you guys were controlling that game quite well. We were even mentioning, hey, they have double Mountain Drake. Looks like they're getting a triple Mountain Drake.
Yeah.
Like there was at some point there was an on my way ping going onto the Baron, and then we see it's Rabid Raccoons jumping in there.
Snuck it.
The other thing that I definitely wanted to ask was, how did you feel getting the same 3 champions game 2 that you
was
had
nice.
in game 1?
It was nice because we don't have much experience together. So
did you think that they would actually? Did you think they were going to ban the Trundle, or because the adjustment ban they made was the Kled, and Escapist and I were actually talking. Escapist really mentioned it. He wanted the Trundle off the board.
yeah, they should have. Trundle's was the only S tier left. Just like he's like the carnivore. If it's Graves and Jinjal are gone,
Mm-hmm.
I think I compete. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And especially Zach, he can't do anything level 2.
Yeah, you definitely controlled the early levels of game 2.
He can't do anything. He can't fight me ever. So I can take whatever I want. Starting from level 2, I can take whatever I want. If I have backup, if I don't get collapsed on.
Well,
yeah, I was like, level 2. I'm gonna like, I made this early game. I was like, level 1. I was like, I'm going red to red, shove top mid. I'm going red to red, taking this red buff, and then it worked out.
Yeah, you had a nice ward there on the Raptors to see him coming too, so just snuck in behind him.
Yeah, triple buff, and then I chased him down to his scuttle after that. I saw him roam down mid, and then we picked him off there because we blew his flash before.
Mm-hmm.
So it was perfect. It's just jungle pathing.
Escapist, do you have any questions before I ask my last few? Or
no, I don't think so.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just wrap up the interview in the way that I always do, in saying, congrats on your victory.
Thanks.
2-0. Once again, another 2-0 victory. We have yet to see a series go all 3 games here in Prophecy Cup Season 5. Where do you see IRL Sluts finishing? And who do you think are the number 1 team to look out for as you guys move forward?
I see us doing well. As I said again, we're like brand new. We haven't played that many games together as this roster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been like 3, at least 3 games together. So we're constantly improving exponentially. We're getting our synergy down. Looking good as you saw. It's still early, but it looks like there's a clear top half. Or clear top 4 as of right now.
And then who do you think are?
I see us top 4. So
no, who do you think are like your number 1 opponents? Your anime rivals.
I don't
beat
know.
At the final summit.
I don't know.
You have to choose one.
I wouldn't call out another team like that. I just say that the other 2 O teams are respectable. They're pretty even or rounded out.
All right.
And it should be this season should be very what's the word, competitive. So it should be nice instead of top 2 teams.
Even Rabid Raccoons being down in gold pretty substantially, they definitely didn't back down against you guys.
Yeah, they fought. They came back in those Barons.
Which is definitely the type of types of games we want to see, even if it is a 2-0.
They didn't give up.
You don't see anyone give up here.
Yeah.
We don't mess around here at Prophecy Cup.
Yeah.
We fight till the Nexus drops, unless we surrender, which has happened.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I think that wraps up our first series of the night. Once again, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. Shout out to IRL. You guys are cute. All of you.
Alrighty.
Alright, thanks.
GG.
No problem. GG. Bye-bye.